This video is about rhythm and meter. Someone once said that writing about music is like dancing about architecture. Silly, right? Well, I think it's really hard to write about music you haven't actually experienced or performed yourself. So now is your chance. I will demo concepts for you in this video, and then you will have the opportunity in the homework to do that yourself. So let's start with a few definitions. Rhythm is what propels music forward. Beat is a basic unit of rhythm. Meter is an organized group of beats. Within our meter, we have measures that are meters marked off in notation, and bar lines, which are vertical lines that mark off measures. Beat is our basic unit of rhythm, and meter is how we group all of the rhythms together so that it makes sense. Let's look at this piece of music. The yellow box represents everything within the measure. In this case, there are 4 objects. We'll learn more about those in a minute. The orange arrow points at a bar line, which helps group the objects together. There are certain rules that govern how much can fit in a measure followed by a bar line, but you don't need to worry about that. So, what are those objects anyway? A quarter note is a rhythmic symbol that is worth 1 beat of sound. It has a filled-in circle and a stem. In this example, we see 4 quarter notes. If we were to clap it and count it, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything has its counterpart. If there is 1 beat of sound, there can also be 1 beat of silence. A quarter rest is a rhythmic symbol that is worth 1 beat of silence or rest. It looks like a weird squiggle. In this example, we see quarter notes and quarter rests alternating. Performed, it sounds like this. 1, 3. 1, 3. A half note is a rhythmic symbol that is worth 2 beats of sound. It has an empty circle and a stem. In this example, we see a half note followed by 2 quarter notes. Performed, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A half rest is a rhythmic symbol that is worth 2 beats of silence, or rest. It looks like a hat. In this example, we see a half rest surrounded by 2 quarter notes. Performed, it sounds like this. 1, 4, 1, 4. As a reminder, meter is an organized group of beats. For our purposes, we will be looking at 3 different meters. Downbeats are the first beat that happens in every measure. What follows that are typically weak beats, and that helps us determine which meter we are in. Duple meter is a strong downbeat and 1 weak beat. Then you repeat it, 2 beats in a measure. Triple meter is a strong downbeat, then 2 weak beats, and repeat, 3 beats in a measure. Quadruple meter has a strong downbeat and 3 weak beats. Repeat, 4 beats in a measure. A conductor is in front of an orchestra or different ensembles to help the group stay together. The conductor is demonstrating certain patterns that make sense for musicians. We are learning 3 of those. Let's look at each one individually. Duple meter, a strong downbeat, then 1 weak beat, 2 beats. On the left shows the conducting pattern. Feeling the pattern will help us understand this concept. We take our right hand and begin at the start and finish at end. It looks like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It doesn't have to be totally perfect. On the right is a musical example to go along with this pattern to make more sense in real life. This is I Saw 3 Ships. Triple meter. Strong downbeat, then 2 weak beats. 3 total beats. On the left shows the conducting pattern. Again, with our right hand, we begin at the start and finish at end. It's kind of like a triangle. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. On the right is a musical example to go along with this pattern. This is Star Spangled Banner. Quadruple meter. A strong downbeat, then 3 weak beats. 4 total beats. On the left shows the conducting pattern. Again, with our right hand, we begin at the start and finish at end. It has some fancy little loops, but the main point is the location of each beat. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the right is the musical example to go along with the pattern. This is We Will Rock You. So let's try it out. If I play the song My Country 'Tis of Thee, which meter do you think it is in? Well, I suggest starting with 1 and trying it out. If it doesn't feel right, try another. A big clue is the lyrics. Have courage. Here we go. Unsure? Play it back a few times. You're learning a new skill. It is okay. Here's the answer. Triple. This song is in triple, just like a lot of dances like waltzes are in triple. Okay. Last 2 terms to learn. Syncopation. That's where accents fall on off beats. You could think of it as an interruption or an interjection. It's not on the down or strong beats. In fact, they happen when we don't expect them to happen. Have you ever heard this joke? Knock, knock. Who's there? Interrupting cow, and the person screams moo before you can say interrupting cow who? Same thing. Why is it used? To spice up the music, to make sure you're paying attention, perhaps to throw your ear off, or to draw attention to words that the composer thinks are most important. And polyrhythm, the simultaneous use of conflicting rhythmic patterns. That's like your left hand doing one pattern and your right hand doing a different pattern at the same time. Alright, that's all the content for this video, so let's walk through your homework. First thing to keep in mind is that you are graded on your attempt of these items, not perfection. So, A through C will be your conducting of the patterns as I have demonstrated for you in this video. Make sure to repeat the pattern at least once. D through F asks you to perform the patterns. For this, you will need to find a common household object like a pot or pan and some drumsticks. I have chosen a mixing bowl and some spatulas. You can use whatever you want as long as it makes a sound I can hear. Duple meter. Remember, it is 1 strong beat and 1 weak beat. If we perform it, it would sound like this. Remember that the speed stays the same. Triple meter and quadruple meter would be in the same fashion. Your homework then asks you to perform syncopation. As a reminder, syncopation is an interruption and interjection on the off beat. I'll show you what is and what is not syncopation. final item is letter H, perform the rhythm. I encourage you to count out loud to help you. Okay, so once that is done, you need to submit your video. Listen carefully. I want you to submit a link instead of submitting the entire file. Video files are very large, so I want you to submit a link. You will need to have your video housed somewhere and then submit a link to that location. You have many options, but a few are YouTube, Dropbox, OneDrive, SharePoint, Google Drive, Microsoft Stream, whatever you feel comfortable using. I have provided a video guide for uploading to YouTube and Dropbox in the Help folder. Feel free to check that out. No matter what version you choose, uploading a video takes a significant amount of time. Plan ahead. Don't wait until the last minute. Please reach out if you have any questions. Happy practicing!